Hey, welcome to another episode of the Local Marketing Beat brought to you by Uberall. My name is Christian Hustle, and today we have a very cool episode. We're actually unlocking AI-driven growth. And to do this, we're doing an ActiveCampaign deep dive into autonomous marketing and talking more in depth into all these things about agentic AI. I know we've talked about it in a few episodes, but it's hot. Everybody wants to jump on board. And we're going to talk about its capabilities, right? So this episode is all about mastering it. And to do that, we have one of my very good friends, Gwen Sioson from ActiveCampaign. And I'm very excited about her being in the show, as she's been a crucial member on this strategic partnership between Uberall and ActiveCampaign. For the last 6 years, she's been instrumental in scaling ActiveCampaign's app and has accomplished astounding 950 integrations in their ecosystem, which is crazy. So, welcome to the show. I'm very happy and excited that you're here and that we get to pick your brain.
Thank you, Christian, for the invitation. I'm very excited to share some of my knowledge with the local marketing beats audience.
Absolutely. And I think I just had a question for you that I wanted to, you mentioned, in one of our conversations, you mentioned that, you're in Vegas, right? And you like to go out and have family time. How much, like somebody living in Vegas, how much gambling, how much casino time is involved in living in Las Vegas?
Ooh, what a question. It's so funny. My mother-in-law and mother both asked me this question before we made the decision to move from San Francisco to Las Vegas.
I'm sure they
And
did.
my answer is still the same. There's so much to do in Las Vegas with the 5-star dining, access to the outdoors that's 45 minutes away. I can go to Utah, Arizona, drive back to Cali to go to Disneyland. There's so much to do in Las Vegas for families, for individuals. I don't need to go to the Strip unless I'm attending an event like IFA, which I'll be there in Vegas in 2026. Is Uberall going to be there too?
I believe so, yeah. I believe it's Uber has been there for several years. So yeah, so that you might bump into the whole team.
Fantastic. Excited to potentially take them out to a local spot to eat.
Oh, yeah. Always go for local, right? So we're talking about agents, right? This agentic marketing nowadays. But in your side of the world, we're calling it autonomous marketing. And I'm curious, what does that mean for ActiveCampaign? Can you give us some context for the audience and for me to see, what does that really mean? What are you guys working on?
That is a great question. And you are right. There are so many new terminologies popping up every single day. And I think autonomous marketing is one of those universal terms that I actually have the privilege of breaking down with people, my favorite areas to do it with, right? At an event with the stranger on the spot for 2 minutes and walking them through what it means from an ActiveCampaign point of view. So here is my walkthrough. Autonomous marketing is really about completely automating the sales and marketing process for any franchise marketing team, a business owner, an agency. It sounds really scary, actually, for some people. They're like, are they coming for my job? Are they just reducing me and turning everything into a robot? I get the opportunity to speak to people like yourself, one-to-one, and actually elevating the experience that it's actually a productivity experience that we will be able to deliver time back to you to do the more interesting stuff of running a franchise business, which is building community, building real connections with your clients and your franchisees, and reducing all of the mundane work when it comes to like setting up your marketing campaign for the next big thing. Imagine being able to autonomously imagine and brainstorm your next idea with data, having an agent activate it on your behalf by creating the email campaigns and automations to go with it, giving you a little bit of human intervention to double check to make sure what you're proposing is accurate, and then giving you the button to hit go so that you can actually validate the campaign in the market in 24 hours versus traditionally in the past, you would have like a full week of ideation, a full week of figuring out what assets to use, and you wouldn't be able to get that campaign out the door until the the fourth week part of the month, right? So we're really reducing the time to value with autonomous marketing here at ActiveCampaign for the entire digital marketing experience for not only the franchise marketer at the corporate head office, but your franchisees who want to really implement localized marketing because they know their market the best. And with ActiveCampaign, it's not just email. We're helping build and execute cross-channel campaigns for SMS, email, push notification, WhatsApp, you name it. And what we're doing here at ActiveCampaign is helping people break down the definition of autonomous marketing in 3 buckets: imagine, activate, and validate. Now,
Interesting.
throughout this podcast, we're going to be sharing some examples on how this framework
Okay.
is taken into action in real life so that we can just digest it a bit easier, because people can throw jargons around as well. So if you don't mind, Christian, love to walk you through like what an example is for imagine, activate, and validate.
Yeah, I mean, I would be very curious to see what falls into each bucket, right? Like, what is a multi-location franchise brand? How do they apply this, right? Because it's obviously, like you say, it's jargon. It sounds very fancy, and we love as marketers, we love jargon, right? Like, we come up with our own, down to the actually, what is it actually doing, or what am I supposed to do? Love to hear some examples.
All right, you and I, any franchise marketer, we're sitting in front of our desktop. Imagine you're brainstorming with your AI agent. Ours at ActiveCampaign is called Active Intelligence. And the first thing we all do is to make sure we give the agent context. As a franchise marketer at ActiveCampaign, you might tell it, hey, here's my customer segment. Here's my last campaign performance. And then I type out, what is my business goal that I want to achieve next? That's the imagine part of the experience. You're brainstorming and utilizing your AI assistant to end data to come up with a smart, intelligent, data-driven strategy for you to review. That's the first step, imagine. Then our agent access our rich, intelligent data layer that contains not only their accounts like business and past campaigns, but our agent is trained on all of the marketing jobs to be done from over 150,000 customers within our database to articulate and suggest that smart, driven strategy that you should activate. Now, this is where the aha happens. What
Okay.
makes our approach with like truly autonomous marketing at ActiveCampaign is what happens next. Many platforms can help you like brainstorm and suggest ideas, but Active Intelligence takes that idea and acts on it. Instead of just telling you, hey, send up a follow-up email to customers who didn't open after a certain number of days, our AI will create a targeted campaign for that specific group, write the personalized content for them, and then even schedule it at the best time to be sent based on like the past behavior of that contact on the individual level. And this idea of being able to activate our agents, taking the idea that's generated, building it out on your behalf, giving you an opportunity to, of course, review, fine tune it. That is the experience that we're driving towards, as we believe like a complete autonomous marketing experience should be centered around taking action toward your business goals, right? What you were prompting at that very context experience about what I would like to achieve and not just recommendations. And what makes it super exciting about our partnership together with Uberall is we are really one of the few brands that are close to delivering a complete autonomous marketing experience through both our agent, Active Intelligence, and UBI, your dedicated agent.
Right.
Now, Christian.
And yeah, go ahead.
I
I
was
want
gonna
to
say,
hear it.
yeah. I would love to learn a little bit more about UBI. I have done all of our research, and I feel like we're like twins, UBI and Active Intelligence,
Yeah.
and where we are in the path of driving complete autonomous marketing.
Yeah, and I mean, it definitely sounds very aligned, right? So Ubi, as we like to call it, it is a new way of interacting with the overall platform in a very similar way where, the multi-location brands and franchisees, and then even the location managers, right, are able to log into the platform. And then Ubi is able to audit in a certain way, keep an eye on all your locations and say, hey, I noticed that this location is not performing well because it's missing, holiday hours, or the hours are incorrect or inconsistent. And then providing you the insights, right? Is like the other locations are actually correct, and look at the performance difference. So it's really insightful. Like you said, right? It's all about the context that you provide to AI and LLMs. That's where the magic happens. Because if you just open, ChatGPT and you ask a very vague question, the answer might not be as good as giving it access to your data, your insights, the whole context is really where AI can shine. And that's kind of where, Uvi shines, right? And then taking it up a notch with the autonomous thing where, launching in Q3, Ubi will be able to help you make those changes as soon as you approve them, right? So, oh yeah, why don't you, update my business hours for location 123, and then Ubi can go do it. So it's like you said, right? It gives that efficiency. It's not replacing jobs. It's just all about efficiency. And now we have more time to be strategic, or like you said, brainstorming, coming up with new cool things to do, right? New events for locations or for local shops. Does that give you
Yes.
a
I
good
mean,
context? Is this what you had heard?
yes. And not only have I been able to like watch the demo on your website about Ubi and how it does imagine, activate, and validate. But I'm very fortunate enough to have worked together with your team, have seen the demos of what the agent is able to do. And that's why it really excites us here at ActiveCampaign to be able to potentially have not only our agents talk to each other and bring in that additional context from Uberall's experiences and ActiveCampaign digital experiences to really help the franchise marketer come up with that intelligent, strategic strategy that they would like to execute with all of this context, and then giving them the green button to go and validate it in the market. And with ActiveCampaign, we have the ability to have a 360 feedback loop of all of those campaign data points funneled back to our business goals so that you are tracking towards that prompt that you entered about your business goals dynamically. There's no more need to pull up a static report and interpret. We will be driving that experience for you and suggesting the next campaign to get to that business goal that you have mentioned at the very beginning when you're setting that context with the agent.
And it's just such a good, you were talking about it earlier, was it when it comes to cross platform, right? It's not just email, it is a variety of platforms. And it's so good for multi-locations specifically, more because of the scaling aspect, right? It's not the same managing one or two locations versus 500 and running similar events or with different dates and different times. Coordinating all that, right? And coming into the overall platform and scheduling local posts or running your promotions and things like that. And then bringing in active campaign intelligence in a way where, hey, why don't you help me promote it? Why don't you help me make sure that everybody is aware and aligned? Obviously, the perfect example that comes to mind, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if we have some data on the customer and they came to visit, it would be awesome to just follow up with a review request or give us feedback, and then tie it all together, right? I think that's where all this partnership really is going to shine.
You are right on the money with that. And with the, with we're playing this game with SEO and AEO now with answer engine optimization. We want to help drive all of the challenging work that Uberall is doing, all the anonymous traffic that you're delivering to either your local or locator pages, and having those anonymous visitors volunteer their information to you so that you can continue and build that relationship with that potential prospect. And with ActiveCampaign working together with Uberall, we're very excited in the coming months to move from a crawl, walk, run type of experience in the partnership world to an experience where we are uncovering silent footsteps on your Uber locator and local pages into known contacts
Interesting.
and using the cross-channel campaigns to meet where the prospects are or your customers are, right? They may not be as responsive on email, but 98% of SMS messages do receive a read acknowledgement.
Yes.
And if you're able to answer with that individual, what's in it for me? That's the first connection that you've built from transforming digital traffic into store traffic and, of course, into revenue, right? At the end of the day. And
Right.
by hooking them to drive to that experience on the localized level, you have the ability to build that narrative together. And one of the coolest tricks, like, I think I want to share now, like when it comes to
Yeah.
like
Yeah. No, I want
driving.
to hear it. You say tricks, I'm sold. Go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. With Uberall's locator and local pages, right? You have the ability to set the stage where your business hours are, where your address is, potential promotions of that store. But if you are embedding an ActiveCampaign form into this experience, we are going to turn the silent footstep into a known individual. And how do you get them to volunteer that information for you? What you're going to do is, I think if you were both are in my shoes, like we're searching online for like the nearest coffee shop or, a plumber that opened late, we want to see most likely some type of incentive, offer and deal. Where people fall short when they're offering something like this is they forget to put an expiration date on that type of experience. The expiration date is actually the trigger in ActiveCampaign that you can use to make sure you get in front of that prospect to redeem that offer. And if they redeem it in a very short duration, fantastic. You have the ability to present them with another opportunity that might bring them back into the stores again. But many of us, we download the potential QR code to download the digital offer or see, a text code to enter in, and I put a pause and I forget about it. Well, now that you have the email address or the phone number in ActiveCampaign, you can use that expiration date as the reason to reach back out to them in email, SMS, WhatsApp, push, to come and redeem this offer and truly drive their silent footstep into the store because we want them to redeem it. And once they have redeemed that, again, you're building that relationship with them and showing them value, potentially adding them into a loyalty program, showing them the next top 10 items for the holiday season. But right now, the opportunity is there's a lot of invisible silent footsteps that are landing on your franchisees' local pages. How do we get some of them in there with some of these really cool tactics by simply collecting their email address or their phone number to do so?
This is such a good pro tip because I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, hey, sign up and get 20% off on your first order or on your first coffee. I rarely see any expiration ever. So it's definitely a pro tip. What would be your recommendation for expiration? Are we talking about probably not 24 hours, but are we talking about 2, 3 days? Are we talking about 7 days? Specifically for local presence, right? Local stores.
That's a really great question. And for me, it really depends on the franchisee's product, right? And services. If you're working on, in the food and beverage industry, I think time to value, because there's so many other competitors around the space, I think the duration for some promotion with the expiration date, usually within a week. But if you're selling like a product and service, like a plumber or a dentist office, trying to get people into the door, I would go for like a quarterly or holiday experience, something tied to a more like national holiday. So people have an excuse to either spend their working time to come visit you or on their off day to redeem that experience. And another trick that, it's very interesting that I have not seen executed very much in the market as well is for those who are in the home services space, professional services as well, the phone number being collected in addition to the email, if you would like, that phone number is a reason for like that anonymous web visitor to reach out to you. How do you take action on that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a couple of examples that you can use is like, hey, now that we have, double opt-in for you to receive our SMS messages, why don't you text me, let's say if you're a salon, a picture of the hairstyle that you would like, and I will quickly respond back to you within 24 hours. And that's where you're building those real connections. You're having a conversation now with that anonymous user who've become a known prospect. Whereas before, there was a gap. There was just like, I'm going to sign up for this text message and I don't hear back and there's no conversation.
And I'm such a big fan of texts just because of how more efficient they are, short and sweet. You build a relationship faster. All this reminds me, I'm sure you're familiar with our LPO, location performance optimization framework, where we have 4 pillars. The fourth one, which is, yes, we all care about driving more visibility and getting to the top of rankings and now being suggested on AI. But that last pillar is conversion. And I mean, it is the standard, right? Like 97% of your traffic that comes to your website is not ready to buy. Live gets in the way. They don't convert. This is a good way to really push that conversion, even continue following up, right? Is like, instead of losing that 97%, maybe you capture another 10% and you keep following up and building that relationship. which I think is awesome. And is one of the things that we actually hadn't talked a lot in the podcast, because I think it's a crucial thing, right? Because traffic, when they land on the website, they may just want some general information. They're not ready to buy now. Or if it's local, maybe they want to go tomorrow, right? In the case of coffee shop or pizza restaurants, like, yeah, I want to go tomorrow. Well, tomorrow comes and you forget and you end up going to a competitor. But if you had collected that info, right, you were able to follow up and build a relationship, maybe a text could have saved that conversion. Is that
Yes.
what you're seeing for local presence?
Yes. Yes. So the customers that we have utilizing our franchise marketing platform called ActiveCampaign HQ, we have been able to create, imagine like a control center dashboard where you can see your digital marketing performance data by location, all of the email marketing metrics. We have an amazing e-commerce metric that pulls in from your sales data from Square, MindBody, and we are looking into Toast, to bring that information in, and where you can truly articulate where is my digital marketing time and resources going and what amount of revenue am I generating with all of this information. And to be able to look at underperforming locations and see what potential metrics they are, falling short on, and then looking at your overperforming locations and seeing what type of localization experiences and campaigns that they are executing, and marrying that together from a like franchise corporate office in seconds, right? There's no more need to again, pull static reporting to do this. We can deliver this type of summary and insight for you to help generate that next national strategy that you should run with all your franchisees, and empowering the ones who are doing really well on the franchisees level to continue executing some innovative local strategies so that you can bring those learnings back to the rest of your network.
I think the beauty is the automation side of things, right? It's something that it could be done within a couple of clicks because all your data is interconnected, and I feel like this is where I talked about it in the bio, right? This is where your 950, I don't know how many integrations you've done. The more data, the more context you're providing to LLMs for better results, right? More efficiently. Even I think that we're going to get to the point where, yes, our prompts right now may be a paragraph, but as intelligence technology already has the info, you don't need all these prompts, right? It's almost like a click. It's like you already know everything. You know what I want. Just give me the result.
That is exactly what I am building today with our amazing AI agent team. We're transitioning the apps and integration ecosystem that you've mentioned into an AI powerhouse that just has all that context available from third-party platforms like Uberall into ActiveCampaign and vice versa, so that you do not need to write those extensive, this is about me prompts. We have the information already there. And let's get to the part where we're generating strategic campaigns for you to review, to activate, and then go push it out there into the market and validate that this is working or not.
Yeah, it really solves the whole download a spreadsheet, upload a spreadsheet, figure out your prompt. What am I going to ask? Polish the prompt, right? Multiple iterations. Like, even though it's still efficient, I mean, this is just next level, right? This is 2.0 efficiency. So, before we wrap up, I would really love to hear any one tip or advice or key takeaway that we can share with our, franchises and customers and anybody watching or listening to this. Something that you haven't mentioned yet, because I think you share some really cool pro tips. What would that be? What would be one key takeaway that our listeners can, finish the episode and go apply it today?
As a marketer myself and a strategist, these are the three things that I would love for your audience to take into consideration and take action on. First things first, mindset change. We're at a point where it's no longer, hey, AI assistant, please pull up my historical campaign performance. We're at a point of autonomous marketing where your agent should take that recommendation and take into action. That's the mindset change that I would love our audience here to understand. That's how we get to the complete autonomous marketing experience. Now, as you mentioned, context and data is what's going to make this agent know what to do. And for franchises, that means making sure that your national campaign data and your local franchisees data are together. They're talking, because someone like myself in Las Vegas, if the agent doesn't know what I'm doing on that level, how are you going to run and make suggestions that are intelligent and smart on the national level on what the rest of your network should run. A unified data layer is truly the fuel, the gas for autonomous marketing engines. And the most important, we're talking here about AEO, answer search engine optimization, and SEO, right? The ultimate goal now to enable autonomous marketing to happen, AI is continuing to optimize on all of these web pages, your local pages, your locator pages, your website. And if AI is unable to validate that you are delivering engaging content on those web pages, what is the reason for surfacing your page, your brand, as the answer when you are searching on Claude, on ChatGPT? ActiveCampaign enables these websites to drive high engagement, to drive increased time on page, so that the agents looking for these indicators know that this page is busy. And a busy page means this would be an answer to your prompt.
That's awesome. I think that was a mic drop right there. Just don't drop it because we're going to record the drop sound. But, thank you so much for joining me today, for taking the time. I'm looking forward for this partnership. I'm very excited to see how it works and how it develops. But just the theories that we talked here today, I think they can be very impactful for a, HQ, but also for location managers to be able to, work the floor instead of spending time writing posts or sending texts or email or setting up email campaigns and things like that. So again, thank you so much for the time. If people want to learn more about you, what you're doing, or about ActiveCampaign, where can they go and how can they follow you?
Yes, thank you for the plug. You can find me on LinkedIn if you search for Gwen Sioson, GwenSioson. I will be the live person at events like at IFA next year, grabbing your attention with some eye contact and inviting you over a conversation at our ActiveCampaign HQ booth so that we can dissect autonomous marketing together and see what works and doesn't work. And of course, Christian, if you do share emails out, feel free to email me directly as a speaker, because I love having conversations with everyone in the space to learn myself what these pain points are and how we can go solve them together.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about testing, right? That's what we do on a daily basis. So this is just another example. But thank you so much, everybody, for watching. If you made it this far into the video, go check out the Uberall Academy, get LPO certified. It's completely free. That is academy@uberall.com. And again, thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.